everyone's well. It is Angela and we are on Crafting with Dawn Bibby group, and it is time for our Saturday night live. It's Saturday the 20th of June and I'm due to go live at past, so I've just set it off now. Hope that gives people time to join in. And then we can see how we go. There we go, and I'll be able to see the comments coming up hopefully once we get people joining in. It's been quite a warm day today, so I don't know if people will be joining or whether they will be trying to cool down somewhere, watching some telly or going for a nice shower, having a nice cold drink in the garden maybe. But we'll just see how we'll go with the live anyway, and then maybe we'll get a few people joining in. Hi Jackie, thanks for joining us. Just waiting for people to join in. I went on about a minute or two early just to make sure that I could get on all right. I'm just going to start with the little teepee card, so I'll sit with that there for you to see. Hi Julie, thanks for joining us. Just got a few little bits and pieces here to play with this evening. As you can see, I ended up finishing off the little teepee card that I did start at the end of on the last live that I was doing, that Sarah had wanted to see. So I'm going to just quickly put another one together for you all. Ooh, Jackie, that sounds nice. A bit of ice cream. Yeah, we've all been buying the lollies. I've just got Albie. He's a little bit up and down. He keeps coming and sitting next to me. Then he goes and sits outside. Then he goes in the kitchen on the floor. I think it's just a bit too warm for him. He doesn't know where to put himself. But it's starting to cool down a bit now. I've got my fan on. So if there's any noise in the background and you want me to turn it off, let me know. Hopefully it'll be all right. Now, just before everybody joins in and we do this, you might see some little things at the top here. I'm just busy playing with. I saw a little reel the other day on making little frames, little mini frames. So these are my first little efforts, which are a bit tatty. But I've got the frames from Dawn that are Katie Sue ones, and they're really good. They're a nice 6x6, I think. But these are little scrappy bits that got a bit torn, some of these papers, when I was not being very careful, and little leftover pieces. So I'm busy teaching myself how to make those little how to make the little frames. That one's a bit tatty because I was doing my scoring wrong, but I think they're quite cute, and I'm going to just have a little bit more play with those and see. I might be able to show you how to make them when I get them made. Sarah does have everybody making a teepee card. I don't know what it is about them, but she must just like teepee cards. So I decorated this one up with the little gnomes. Toadstool time it is from Dawn, and pop loads of little layers on, and then put some sparkle on with the stickles. Now when I was doing it, I chose one of Dawn's papers for the background, which has got toadstools on, but they're all facing a certain direction. So I discovered that actually once I was putting them on the card, they were a bit wonky, so that was going sideways. So I decided that it's better if you, whatever background paper you choose something that can go any way you like. So it's probably better if you have a you know, spots or hearts or stars, or a flowers that can be turned any old way you want, and then you're not going to worry about which way around the design is facing, because it kind of starts off. I've only put this together with a tiny bit of glue because I haven't got my sticky stuff yet. It starts off sort of facing upwards when I'm putting it on the card, but then once I actually come to fold it round, they're all sort of the wrong way around then. So all I need to do is find my Velcro or my magnets, and I haven't found them at the minute, so I've just stuck it in with the bit of glue for the minute, because it can just be like a little display one. Oh, thank you, Julie, that's very kind. And we've got a little few people joining in, so I'll have a little go. So for the teepee card, you need 3 squares the same size. So what I've chosen today is some green background. So I've got my 3 squares. This one's going to be a little bit smaller, so I've done 4-inch square. So I've got 3 of those. And then you need to have some squares that are going to be a little matting and layering. So on from Dawn's collection there, I used the toadstools. I decided that I wanted something that would go always round, as I've said, but I couldn't find anything in my stash that I wanted, so I decided to make it. So I've got some white pearlized card, and then I found one of my lovely Stamperia stencils. I've left all the ink on, and that can go any way round. So I've gone in with some bundle sage. I think that was a candied one from the Distress Oxide and a wilted violet from the purple Distress Oxide. And then I actually had a mucky stencil to start with, so they're kind of all merged in a little bit, but it looks quite pretty. And I think when you can then use it any way around you want. And I showed people how to do, well, everybody, I'm sure everybody does stenciling, but I did do that last week, so I don't need to show you that bit. So all I've done then is cut some squares that are a little bit less than the 4-inch squares, and then I have chopped them in half diagonally. So I've got my little triangles with my lovely decoration that I've made myself. So you can see I've also got my little toppers. Hopefully I've got enough little bits cut out ready to go. So I'll just put my little tray to the side for the minute while we do the first part. I did do this last time, but I'm just doing it as a recap to start us off for the evening. Hi Karen, thanks for joining us. I think I saw Joanne jumping on as well. I don't know if, yeah, see, hello Joanne, nice to see you. And then what we want to do with the squares is score down the diagonal. So I'm just going to find, I'll do my 3 there. I'm going to put one at the top, one at the bottom. That's it, so I get my diagonal scored down. That's it. And then I'll do the same on each of those cards. This is quite nice for lining up. So I'm lining my point up with the top and the bottom of that score line. It's going in nicely. Lovely. Pick something nice and so you can see I'm starting at the top there because I haven't got them marked. Some people put like a black line down one of their grooves with their pen so they can go top and bottom and just line up that way because they'll see the black line at the top and the bottom. So all I'm doing is finding one groove that I know I'm picking 3 so I can line the bottom bit up with that and then the top bit up with the 3, and then I should stay in my little groove. But like I say, you could put a pen line down one of those permanent marker and then it would be ready. Right, so that's the first part done, and then we've just got to stick it together. I'm waiting for my glue coming from Dawn, so we're still just using my leftover glues. They're in the next parcel. What we're going to do, I'll get them kind of scored ready, burnished and folded over, so they're ready for the next bit. That's it. Hopefully it'll all go to plan. So we're going to have 2 that are squares, and you can see, I don't know whether you can see, but I'll show you with the, just point at it with this little with my little dibber. The creases, the fold lines, going that way for that card and then that way for that card. So I've made my triangle shape here with the score lines, and then they are buttered up together like that. And then the next one, hi Karen, thanks for joining us. The next one you're going to put on the diagonal, and that's going to go in there like that. And then we'll be able to fold them round, stick them down and fold them round, and that will be our teepee card made. So just so I know where I am, I'm going to pop that one there. Where's my little pencil gone? There it is. I'm just going to put a little mark there for my pencil line so I know where my glue goes. Joanne's washing up. That's fine, don't worry. You carry on. I'm running out of all of my glue, so I'm just using all the bits and bobs up. I'm waiting for my next little delivery to come. I'll put some in there. I'll pop that over the top. And check that I've got it right, folded round. That's it. Hi Vivian. We're just making the teepee card again because I went and got ahead of myself and decorated it. I couldn't wait. The one that I was supposed to be decorating today. So I thought it would just start the video off, the live off today if I did it now. Did another little one. So I'm making a smaller one. And hopefully that will be the same on that side. Hopefully there and there. So that's it. How's everybody doing? Have you been coping with the heat? It's not been like red hot up here because I think we are a bit further north, but it's just so stuffy everywhere. Can it get comfy really without the fan being blasting? That's it. So hopefully I've remembered how to do it correctly. There we go. And then they will fold round. We need a little dot of Velcro or a little magnet or something on there and there. So they would then stick together. But then when you want to put it in your envelope, you could just fold it down. That'll easily fit in a 5x7. How big is that on the top now? This little 4-inch square is, you probably fit in a 4x6 because it's 4 by just under 6. So you get that in a smallish envelope as well. So that's quite good. So that's a nice small size. And then we need to decorate it. So I'm going to choose my side. That's going to be my front. So I've got a nice fold round there to the back. I'm going to decorate that front. So I'm going to lie that down there. Now you can see I have got my squares of card that I've made. They're all mismatched because I've left them lying in a heap. Let me see if I can put them back together again. Oh, well done. So there's one. We could put that one on. It doesn't matter because they will go always round. That's why I've got them like that. Put a pattern on that I knew would go always round. And I've just done this as the layer with the green in the background. You can put any number of matting layers on that you want. But like I say, do a pattern. If you're using pattern card, do one that will be nice, whichever direction you look at it from. I'm just going to pop them over. So all I've done is cut my little square a bit smaller than that 4x4 and then cut it across the diagonal to make my 2 triangles. There you go. Well, we can see you on these ones, Karen. I don't know what's going on with Dawn's. That's strange, isn't it? So let's go put all these on. Let me see if I can work out my other ones. Probably got a few too many here. And that one just right as well. But I thought I just can't find what I want. So I quite enjoy just making these little backgrounds. Save all my little scrappy bits up. And colour them with a few different inks and a bit of a stencil, and then there you go, sorted. And the colours I thought were going to be all right. I put the purple in and the red in and the green in because we've got the toadstools are sort of that kind of colour. So there you are. We'd only need to do that. You could, if you wanted to, leave this one plain if you want to write on it, or you can write on the inside, or you could put little pockets in if you were putting money in. So you'd probably need a bigger one to put money or a voucher in it. Now I've actually did 3 squares because I was thinking I've got 3 squares of green. I need 3 of these, but of course I don't. I just need the little corner triangles. So I am just going to cut them down from this. I'll just put a little marker with my finger and put a pencil mark on, can't I, because it'll go. There we go. Do that. And this one, I'll just do it the same once I've done that one. So now, where's my little trimmer? I'll be struggling here to get comfy, bless him. It's just not a happy chicken, is he? I'm going to go that way because I'll probably find it easier to line it up. Do that one. That fits in there nicely. Pop it on there. That'll do. Leave those to do for another day. He's trying to make his bed next to me comfy, I think, but he's going to find once he sits on it that he's probably ending up a bit hot and bothered. But as long as he's not being noisy, we're all right. We'll just line that one up, and then we've got another one. So there's our teepees ready to decorate. So we've got our nice background on, like that, and now we've got to think about where we're going to place our decorations. So if you look, when we fold it round the back, you've got to choose a front. Oh, hang on a minute, they aren't stuck. Let me give them a bit longer because it's not Dawn's glue, it's not very good. If they're not sticking down because you're using the wrong glue, I usually burnish them on the back a bit and it helps them to stick on. Just puts that pressure on for me. That's it. Right, so we're going to fold it round and choose a front. So I'm going to choose this one here. So I've got a nice curve going round and my flap. It's just the way I kind of like it folding. So that's going to be the card front. You can see I decorated two sides on this one and then left the back. We could put a little piece of card on there to write on. I've just put a little tag for Dawn Bibby on the back of there. So we'll decorate these front two sides. Let me get my little bit down. Don't think this will take us very long. So what we've got to remember though when you're decorating is, if I lie it down flat like that and I start putting my little pieces on, so let's say this is going to be one of the fellas, I'm going to pick this little gnome. If I put him like that, let's hold him in place so he's nice and straight on for you to see there. But then as soon as I put him round, he's going to be on the wonk. So if you're happy with him being on the wonk, that's fine. But if you want him to be that way up, which I have with these, I've kind of put them more, I put this toadstool there nice and straight up and the house straight up there as well. So we're going to have him facing that way up. All I've done with these is I have cut them out from the kit and I've put them on the bisque card. And I have gone round a little bit with a bit of ink on the edges just to take away any little bits that were there. And then we can pop him on. If you want to ground it, which I have done on here, but though you can't really see, because I put so many embellishments on, my grounding bit's gone. But I did put, if you can peep under that one and see there, I had a little strip of cork, which I was making the ground for them to go over. And I had a bit there, but then because I put so many bits on, I didn't need them. So I'm just not going to do it on this one. If I want something later, I'll add a bit of colour on. So I want him to sit straight up like that. So I'm going to be very careful about how I put him. So I'm going to try and sit my card, my triangle, facing up that way. So I get him roughly, he doesn't have to be, you know, very straight, but I don't think he wants to be cockeyed. Now, the other thing that when I was watching the video from Sam Colcott that showed us how to do that I got how to do this from, she also said about when you go to fold them. So if you can see, that'll go nicely in an envelope. But if I have any of this little fella sticking out that way, it's going to make my envelope need to be wider. So just bear in mind where you put them. I've tended to go for most of my overlaps. If you see on here, most of my overlaps are on that side and that side. There is a little bit there. So let's have a look if I open it. and then fold it. I've got this bit sticking out and this bit sticking out, so that's okay because I'm not really going to post this or stick it in an envelope, but I would be more careful if I was wanting to stick it into an envelope and stay with the size of envelope that I've got. So just think about where you're putting your embellishments. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's just go and stick some of these on. So I'm going to put it a bit wonky looking to you, but it's my triangle is now facing the right way up. Now we can put them up onto foam pads if we want to. Let's see why we can't. I'll put one there. Scissors. Where's the scissors? Right, who's got the scissors? Oh, where have I put them? I'll find them in a minute. I've got some spare ones. I need my proper scissors. I cannot function without them. Do you know I'm a terrible person for losing things when they're just being right in front of me the whole time. There we go. I had a look to see if there was any football on tonight because I thought, oh, people might not want to come along if they're watching football, but I think it is, but it's not in England or Scotland or anything like that. I don't think there's any of those like local teams playing, but people might still like to watch the football. So if you're watching on catch up, thank you for joining us. You may have also seen that I'm loading them up onto YouTube. So my YouTube channel is Angela 4 Crafts. The 4 is the number 4. I've put it into group. And I went on and loaded them. Then yesterday I realised that I had still got them on private, I think not public. So hopefully I've turned them all onto public now. And they're all in a little folder called, I think it's just Craft and Chat with Angela and Dawn Bibby Creations. So I just checked with Dawn that she was happy for me to do that. I think it's easier for me to put them straight on mine than try to sort of send them to her and then get them onto her YouTube, because that's quite tricky. So I'm not. She said it's okay just to put them on mine. So all the ones I've done, I think there's only been a couple where I've tried to save them and it's gone a bit wrong. So I'm putting them all on best I can as we go along. I save them all. So I'll check if I've got any more ready to go on. That's it. And I'm just going to start thinking about where I want things. Now, probably before I did that, I should have left myself a bit of room for tucking things behind, but we might be all right. I did a couple of little toadstools because I thought we could 3D one of the toadstools. That one looks about the right size. Let's put that on there. Give a little bit of Dawn's. That's it. Never attempted the shape of card. Honestly, it's not... would it be easier to decorate after fully assembled? Yeah, what I've done is I've fully assembled I've put the shape and the triangles, and now I'm just decorating. So that's all there is to do. The only thing I haven't done is added any Velcro or magnets because I couldn't find them. So you need to do that as well before you start decorating them. If you want your magnets hidden, obviously you're just going to hide them underneath put one on there, and then hide the other one under something at the back of here, or just a little Velcro dot. That would be fine with a little white Velcro dot. That's all it would need to hold it there, and then it can go in an envelope to post. But yeah, just have all that bit done. It's not really hard once you've actually seen it done. I hadn't done one before, and Sarah likes everybody apparently to do a TP card, see if we can manage it. And I looked it up and found Sam Colcott had done one about 4 or 5 years ago, and she'd seen somebody doing it another 4 or 5 years before that. So she did a good video. So if you want to look for that, you can. That's where I learned how to do it. Or you can go on my Angela for Crafts, and then this will be on for you to follow. I'm going to stick a couple of little more bits under there, I think, as well. Maybe we'll try and tuck that in before that sets under there, because because I think I've got enough glue on it that we can put another one behind. That'll do. That one there. And you know I'm not using the right glue, so it's going to take a bit more sticking. There we are. And I think we might put a few little, maybe some thingies down here. Could bring that onto this point, couldn't we? Could put a little bit there. I could tuck them behind that bit, which might be nice when it's closed up. Let me have a little look. I think it would be better down on that part. So yeah, let's have a go at tucking that in. I just need to, I probably don't even need to cut any of it, do I? To be fair, I was thinking I needed to tuck it a bit further in. I'll just cut a little bit off that corner so I can poke it a bit further under. I did wonder, I know some people like their football. I'm not really a big football person. I am if I'm there in person. I've been to a couple of matches, and somehow when you're actually there, it's more exciting. So I think if I was going to watch football, it would be actually a proper game. I didn't mind watching Wesley when he was little, going to his football matches. And I didn't mind going to like see a proper match. But yeah, these are lovely. The toadstool time little fellas. And we'll probably need maybe a little thingy. What do you call it? Sentiment. So I was going to stick that one on. And put that one there. Or I can put a with love. Or we can have, I think that's better because it goes with a little hat. I might just have it on an angle. Hi Yvonne, thanks for joining us. And thank you, Karen, for joining us whilst watching your football match. That's also very good of you. So let me see. That's good. I just want to check. I might trim a little bit off the edges of that. And we'll see what we're going to do today for our next little bit shortly. I think I'm going to risk putting it there like that and then sticking it over the top. And we'll just go on the wonk. Have I done that without catching the... Oh, I've got too much on. That's the moral of the story, is don't do that. Put it on and make sure it fits on the thing first. That's it. There we go. So it is another toadstool time session today, but the next bit is not. It's going to be the, I might put a heart down here. Oh, we need something down that corner poking out. So I'm going to go for the for these again. Some of the can't think what you call them, blackberries. Maybe have a blackberry coming out of there. And I might need to put that little flower on there just to fill that little gap. So it's all about just making little toppers, see what you want. These are all nice for sitting on a night, cutting them out, getting them ready. They're quite a good card stock that they come in if you get the paper kit, so you don't have to back them. But I just found that I liked a little bit of an edge on it for putting onto the card. There you go, and that's all I really need for that. There you go. Oh, Sarah, on a Saturday night, I think she watches, there's another lady who she likes to watch, Kay Hoogie Rutter, I think it is, and she often does her lives at 7 o'clock. So if she comes on here, she just joins in a bit late. And she did see me making that last time, but not decorated. And she said I'd done it right, so she can watch back. But yeah, she likes to watch Kay on a Saturday first. And then she comes, unless she's out and about. So that's what we can do that. We can then put another little bit on this side if we want to, if you want to pop I've cut loads of little toadstools out, maybe that little one, because that might be a bit overpowering. And we could probably put another little flower in somewhere. That's quite a big flower, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let me just have a plan. We'll just put a couple of little bits on this side, so you've got, it's not bare then when it's opened up. I'm just thinking in my head, thinking to myself at the minute. I might put a couple of them there. Where's that other one? Oh, I did. I chopped a little fella out of that, didn't I? So that could maybe squidge underneath to use up, so it's not being wasted. Do that. And then we could put, no, that's not big enough. If I'd cut a little bit off that, let's have a look at that behind. I don't like that flower poking out. It's like an eye. Like somebody's looking. No, I'm not going to do that. I might just put that leaf, that is a bigger leaf, and that leaf behind. And then that one on there like that. Something like that. Let's go for that. So I'm going to put my tape down that middle section so I can poke things in. Yeah, that's it. She does like to watch Kay, so we know where she is on a Saturday, which is not a problem. Now next week I've got to, I'm out with Wesley on the Friday night. He's got the film that we went to see a while ago when I missed a live on one of the nights. This is another one in the set, another one of the Hong Kong films. So that's up to what do you call it? Up to Newcastle for the film there one night. Yeah, you could put a little bit of moss on if you want. Anything else? I've said I haven't got any, like I haven't grounded it. I've got some cork that's quite nice to use as well as a little bit of ground, but I think we'll be all right. I'm going to poke that one behind there. Yeah, so Friday night I'm not able to do one. And then Saturday I'm hoping he might change his mind, but he might be brave. As I wanted to take him up to, I'm going to poke that out there like it, across to Manchester, because there's an open day for Manchester University, and one of the courses he's interested in doing they're doing an open day at the university. Oh my gosh, just do that there. Yeah, that's on that side. So Saturday, that's where we could be, and that'll be like a late-ish, getting back late, I would think. It'll be a full-on day, so I won't be doing anything on Saturday, Friday or Saturday. So I don't know if there's any morning or daytime sessions when it would be better if I did any of the daytime ones, if anybody's got any preferences. Hi, Norma. Hi, Tracy. Anybody else joining? We're just doing this little toadstool card. Toadstool time, and it's the teepee by request from our Sarah. And I'm just throwing a few little bits in. You can put as many in or as few in as you want in your little design. I might pop the heart up there this time, underneath there. I feel like because I've cut it out, I'm going to use it. So let me just stick it in. I think I've cut out just about the right amount of things as well. Done quite well. And I just need, I do want something else in that corner, but I'm just going to leave it because I don't know if I need to cut anything else out. Put that one in there. Poke it down, poke it down. I don't want to see it peeping out. That's it. And just make like a little scene. And we could always pop another little, a little one of them in there if we want to. So I'll cut that out quickly. And now I need to find my blue scissors because I can't function without them. On the next bit, and I haven't put this onto anything, so probably would need to be. Let's go around the edge and a bit of red on that one. And hi Michelle, joining us as well. Hope everyone's all right. Thanks for coming along. The football has finished now, I've been told, so I've got some glue on there, so I need to find my thing, and maybe we'll just pop a little with love on the bottom of there. Probably don't need all these hundreds of things, but you know, I'll just go with it. That needs its piece of bisque behind it though, and then that's all finished and done. There we go. Pop it on there. So that bisque card from Dawn is really nice, and it's like a pale craft card, so it's quite a nice one to use. Now, as far as I knew, my scissors were sitting on this tray. And these are, oh my gosh. So we haven't done very much today in our house because it's been warm. Just a few little mini jobs, and I've just been sitting about, not doing much because it's too hot to do anything. Don't know if anybody else has been doing much. I had most of my live prepped already. From the other day was being good again. I'm hoping that it's all going to go to plan the next bit, because I've had a little practice run of everything. It's not very difficult. It should be straightforward, but that's sometimes when you're doing something. Just put the glue on that side because I'm going to stick it under there. Just pop it on there. That'll do. Pop it that way. Just remember we've got that one that way on. There, that'll do. We've done enough. There we are. So now if I lift it up, hopefully things will stay put. Pop it round. I don't really like that there, so I'll probably take it off. I think that'd be better up there. Take it off and swap it round. Let's have a go at that. Keep having a look when you're doing it so you don't have to destroy your card. When you change your mind. Me saying that glue, I'm just going to take it off. I don't like it on there at the bottom. Then I kind get my heart off now, so I'm going to leave that. I shall find a flower to go on the bottom corner and cut one out. There we go. That's it. So nice and simple. Once you've made the shape, it's just the fun of decorating it, so it could be anything. I think it'd be quite cute for my niece and my nephew might like these little ones because they're quite cute then, aren't they? And they can just sit. Oh, Michelle's been making cards for the local shop. That's brilliant. Well done. But yeah, it's quite cute, isn't it? And it's quite simple. So then all I'm going to need to do after that is go, I'll get my little Velcro dot to stick it on the back, and I shall get some stickles. So I've gone round on this one and I've put my stickles on my little flowers, centres and little bits there. I've put a little bit on that one, on the little heart, round the side of that, on the little lanterns, on the highlights on the blackberries. So you can't really see on the camera very well, but I've gone everywhere and stickled it up. So that's the teepee cards for you. So you can make any size you want, but I think that's probably about as big as I would go, which was the 5x5 square. And then you can make a nice little cute one in the 4x4. So I quite like those. There you go. So that's the first thing. We're just going to finish off. I said I would do the rest of that last time. So I'm going to pop that and put it to one side for the minute. I might just go in front of me, that one, because I've stuck that down with a little bit of thing. This one is not stuck down, so I'm just going to leave it. Just watch when you're doing it. Look, you can see there. I've kind of stuck them both together, so I'm going to have to be careful folding. So that's probably not a good idea, because when people get them in the post, they're not as careful as we are. So just be careful about your overlaps. Hopefully once they've got it out of the envelope, they'll only be sticking it like that and then sticking it together, and that'll be it. But yeah, it's really cute, isn't it? There we go. So we'll pop that up here. I don't think you'll be able to see it where you are. I'll just pop it out of the way anyway for now. We'll pop it up there. Right, so what we got to do today, let's leave that to one side as well, because I didn't decide to use that, but I don't want to lose it because I'll use it another time. I'm just going to have a quick look behind me because I need to make sure that I haven't lost my scissors. There they are, just hiding. And we're going to start with first project. So let me see what we've got. Right, so I've been busy with the watercolour flower ones, and I made, this is my little test run box, made a little box. That's all for when we come to decorate the box up there. This is my little test run, so they don't match and they're not in proper card, but I'll just show you. And then I've started the cards, and I've made some very simple these are on 5x7 white card, and these are some of the watercolour flower flowers which I've just cut out, and then from the size of the cutout I've then built the layers around. But I tried to stay with a theme of flower and two complementing colours close by as a matte layer. Then a bit further round I've got a nice white matte, and then the colour again there. Because I didn't have any ivory or peachy creamy coloured cards, I've decided I wasn't going to start colouring them all on this one. I've left the white, and that's why I've then got this bigger white border around, so they match up. And it just, because that's not too close then to everything, if that makes sense. So that's one little notelet, and I've done another one, two little notelets or two little cards. I've done a nice lavender one, and then the envelopes fit inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to make one of these cards, which is nice and simple. We're going to do a fancier version of the card, and we're going to make a box to put them in, and we're going to decorate the top of the box. And then by the time I've finished all of these, I will have 2 gift boxes with cards in that I can give to people at Christmas. So that's, I'll probably have more than that because I've got so many little bits when I've been fiddling and faffing. So that's what we're going to make, and I've prepared the this one. I think I've got 2 of these ones. Have I got 2 or 1? Let's have a look. We might have 2. So I've cut that one out, which is the delphiniums, and I like the blues. So that's come from one of the Marianne books where you've got the 2 different complementing colours on each side, so you can choose whichever one you want. The pale or the slightly darker. I don't really know which. I think I might go for the slightly darker, actually. Let's have a little look. So all I've done is I've built it around this size. So most of the toppers are similar in size. There's the next one. We've got another one to do. So they're slightly different because I had to work with the sheet. These are all on a page, just all together with no frames. So you have to kind of work out how you're going to cut them out. But I've tried to sort of keep them all similar sized. This one is a 2.5 by 3.5. This one is a 2.5 by 3. So they're similar sizes, and then I could get my layering up. So I wanted a close layer for the first one, and then the next one slightly bigger but similar closeness. So I'm going to put them on, and I'm going to keep these flat. So the reason I've kept them all flat without building them up is just so that I could make a thinner box. So if you want to be posting them easily, you want to have just a straightforward card where you're just thinking about your matting and layering to create the effect, which is what I've done with this. I've just used matting and layering as my design feature, but I didn't want anything 3D, so that it could post as a card on its own very easily. And it would be nice and simple for making a box that would fit them in, and I would fit plenty in. So just going to stand up and get that on ish. I can't see what I'm doing there. So those mats and layers are a bit closer. Let's have a look, because I've got this one going on at the same time. We've got two, so we might as well do this one again. I've got the green to pick out the green from the flower. This is a nice lily. I thought that would be good for like a little sympathy card. So in the little set, I've tried to have a variety of colours, so when people go to choose a card that they want to use and send to their, you know, whoever they're sending them to, they've got a variety. And I used the linen card that Dawn has. I actually went through I've got a one of the multi-pack ones, so I was having a go. I'm just putting this on and I'm not paying attention because I'm talking. The multi-pack ones, I'll show you in a minute. Right, because I'm not really paying attention because I'm sitting talking to you, I'm going to have to cut that down a little bit because I've gone and put it on wonky. So let's hope that does not interfere too much with the rest of the card. There you go, easy done. And I'm just using glue. If you want to use your tape, or, you know, Dawn's glue is the best, obviously, we know. And then we'll put that in the middle. I'll try and get it lined up before I stick it. Yeah, try to put a variety. What I was saying was to put a variety of colours in. And then each of these for the theme, what I've done is I've got a white, which I've matted and layered again, close enough up to the colour, complementing colour. Sorry, I'm just going to do that because there's a bit sticking out. That's the same colour as my background one there. Yeah, we'll pop that one on. Hi, Debbie. We're just doing some nice simple cards. You've missed the teepee. You have to watch back. But these are nice and simple, but really I think the whole of the design just comes from the colours and the matting and layering. And it looks really effective. Now, when you come to then sticking it on your card, you can decide whether you want to have all your cards, you know, different shapes and sizes to fit. If you want it more, you know, if you want that more fitted onto a card, and then you're just opening it straight out. Have I actually stuck that down? No, I haven't. I forgot to stick it down. I wondered why it was moving in my hand. I was thinking, oh, that glue's really bad. Honestly, crackerjack. Crazy I am. What was I saying? Lost track. Oh dear. Can't remember. Can't have been that important. I'll remember if it was. Somebody will ask me if it was something I needed to say. There we go. And they're all just going, as I said, we're just going for flat ones so they're easy to post. Nice and simple. And with this gorgeous, the gorgeous flowers from Dawn's collection, I think the flowers are the most important part, really. So that is being allowed to do the singing. I remember what I was saying. Right, so if we like that card as it is like that, you can just stick it on the card, keep it that size, and then you don't have any more white going round. So that's another option if you want to do that. They're all going to be slightly different size cards then in your box, but that doesn't matter. You can have, so you just decide what you want to do, but this is the basic layout that I've chosen for the card. Is our white, big white border and our matching colours. So there we go. And then I've got my 5x7 cards from Dawn, and I'm just going to stick these on And I like to go either, if I'm going to have this card, put the lid on that a minute so I don't lose the glue. If I'm going to have this card, now I either want to have it so I've got the same around it and cut it off there. I don't like it when I'm in the middle like that where it's the same top and bottom, but you might like that. It's up to you. I like it just a little bit up, so it's a bit off kilter. And then you could, what's another good thing that you could do is you could actually make some sentiments that you leave in a little bag inside your box, and then they can pick those out, have them with a little bit of tape on the back ready, your foam tape or just a little bit of tape that you lift up, your finger lift tape, and then your people who are using them can then put their own little, put the sentiment on if they want. But I'm just liking them plain and simple, so that's what I've done, plain and simple. We're going to go on to the next option after that, which is a little bit more sort of the next option, which is not quite as much plainness, but still where you would be able to get them into the post and get them into your box. So I'm going to leave a little bit more at the bottom than I am at the top and pop that there. Let me see if that matches up roughly with this sort of theme. Yeah, so I've got them about the same, so my little set's going to look similar. What colour would you do the sentiments, Angela? I think I was thinking maybe you could cut out some random ones. You know, if you picked out that green and that blue, maybe die cut some random ones in different colours that you could choose and pop them on. I'll have a look and I can maybe do a few. If I can, the reason I don't often put sentiments on is because I have not got a huge amount of things. I don't seem to. I have got some stamped sentiments that I can get loads of, and I can never seem to find my like cut out ones. So if I find them, I will use them. But yeah, I would probably use some in different colour. Just put some on the green, some on the blue, some on the dark purple, and just have a little selection of birthday, sympathy, whatever, which you then just have use the white and the metallic-y green or the darker green. Just do a little selection box of a few, but use the colour, the green colours here, because I think it'd be nice just having a green one along the bottom to match. Sam's organised a date to visit with Dawn next month. How exciting. That is fabulous. We'll all be looking forward to that very much. We'll have a lovely live, hopefully, from you. The idea of popping some in the box is a great idea. Yeah, I think just a few. You could. I'll show you the ones from the from Dawn's set. So she has got some in the kit. So you could just always use those. Let's have a look. I'll get them for you. Stick that one on. I think I'm about the same ish. Yeah, they're all going to be similar. Give that a little go. Yeah, you can. But when I come to give them to people, I might put things in. Let me get them out. There's just a couple. The ones that Dawn has got in with the kit, they've got different flowers on them. So you could look for the ones that match the flowers, the ones that you're using, and put those in. And we could probably fit some of them along the bottom. Some of them are a bit big, so you'd have to adjust it for that to go on. But because I'd rather have them matching up with the same flower, you're then restricting what the people put on it. So it'd probably be better. I'll have a little look and find some sentiments, and then we can make a little bag up. I'll show you next time if I manage to find them this week. Making like a little bag up to put inside. But it was just a thought. I'm probably not going to be needing any. So that's it. So that's all of our a little folder. I've got all my envelopes in, and I've got lovely cards that we've made a couple of, and a variety of colours. but I think that would be a lovely gift once we've actually got a gift box to put them in. So just put that gift box on hold for a minute, because we're gonna get to that. But that's the first set of cards, and I've got all of the bits there ready for a nice box lid and a box. The next ones that I've done, I'll just bring this other box in. So this set is, I've done the same idea with my sort of thin matting and layering in the colour combinations that match the flowers, and then a wider bit around for the next layer. But on this one I have added a ribbon, a couple of ribbons on that one, and I've put the 3D foam on to lift them up. And I've actually also coloured around the edge of the card, so the card blank itself, you also, if you've got any inserts, that would look nice in there as well. Could probably put some inserts in. I coloured around the edge of that card with some gold ink that I had, metallic gold ink. So the next step, really, just to make that a little bit more than the simple card that we made there, we're just going to add a bit of ribbon and 3D it, so you can see the difference in, hopefully you can see sort of the difference. Maybe you can't actually on the screen. You can't see the 3D like I can. Can you see it on that one? So you've got nice ribbons in the background on that one. And I've got some lovely cream card on this one. And what I've done for this, I've actually used the 5x7, but I've cut them all down to the same size, because I've then got my, it looks better with the way that I've got the borders for this one. So like I said, you might want to be changing up the shape. So now I've done a 4.5 by 6 on these cards, and I just started with a 5x7 and cut them down. So I've got the daisy one, got a nice rose, put the green ribbon on that. I've gone with sunflower. Again, I've done a gold metallic edging on the card instead of having white there. I've got cream on that one. I've got gold on that one, gold on that one, and just because they went with the colours. This is another one of the nice linen card packs. So if you aren't sure which of your linens you want, I've got one of these off Dawn. She has probably got different ones. So you get 48 sheets of all the different colours that they do. So that's been really good for me. So I'm sort of seeing what I fancy using based on what's inside my my pack. And then I'll take a note, and I'll probably have to say which are my favourite ones, take a picture and say to Dawn, have you got these in individuals? And then you can buy the individual packs from Dawn as well. So you get one of every colour, and the linen cardstock's really lovely. So I don't need to show you them all, but they're lovely. So that's where what I was using as my starting point with the flowers, to find something that went with that. And then looking in my stash for sort of the other bit, which is in this case a cream textured card that Dawn has, which is the one that's actually got the wooden effect on, but it was just the right shade, and it's just got a little bit of something to it, not just a matte cream. You can't really see that, I don't think, on there until you put a bit of you just rub a bit of that on. There you go, you can see the texture on that now with a bit of ink on. But even when it's just plain on the card, you can't see it on the screen, but on that little sunflower card, it looks really nice with the texture that it's got and the colour it's got. But once you put a bit of ink on, you can see that wood effect really nicely. So that was another one I used from Dawn. So I've got my sunflower, my daisies, my roses, and I did another lily. And again, I've used the metallic ink on the edge. So you could use a metallic pen, metallic ink, or a bit of gold metallic. Got some super gold metallic acrylic as well. You could always paint a little bit around the edge if you want, if you haven't got any gold card. So that was, instead of using gold sort of matte metallic card from Dawn, I just used an ink. So the theme on this one is same with the matting and layering and the colours matching, and then a complementing ribbon band and 3D. So we'll do those, and I've also done a little bit with the envelopes on this one. So let's see what we've got. We'll make a couple of these ones up as well. But I thought once you actually make them up, it's been quite a lot. I'm going to make, make a few, because I think that's going to be presents for people for Christmas. We're going to use that later for the envelope, because I've also decorated the envelopes in these ones, so I'll show you. So this is my card that I've cut down to that 4.5 by 6. This one is the hydrangea, and it's kind of a bluey grey colour, that card I picked. And then this one I've layered a few more times because I just kept finding colours I wanted to pick out. So that's the purple cardstock from Dawn, metallic. Then I've got the lilac going on, so that's got like a grey and a metallic dark purple on it. And then I've found the nice lilac one on the linen, that grey one again, and then the purple. So, and I've cut that just short of the size of that one. So this is going to be flat on here, but before we stick it on, this is where the ribbon comes in. So I haven't got much in my stash. I was looking for purples. I've got quite a lot of sort of mauvey purples, and I've got a lot of lilac-y purples, and I didn't want that lilac-y purple one because it didn't really go with that back. But I like this white because you can still see the colour through the back. So I'm going to stick that on there and then pop it down. So that's the first stage of this card. So all I'm going to do is get my red liner tape out. Let's see, I'm going down this pretty fast at the minute. Not looked at the comments for a while, so I can't read them all. Sorry guys, I'll have to have a look after. It gets complicated, doesn't it, when there's lots of messages? I don't want to spend all the time reading those and not speaking to you. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of that red liner on, and I'm hoping that when I stick that down, I'm going to be happy that it's going to be leaving me a little gap at either side. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm going to do that. Just a minute. If you want to mark it with a pencil, you can, so you get your ribbon where you want it, because I'm just having it a little bit, I'm not putting it right on the edge. Put it there and there. I've probably got my ribbon slightly off kilter, my red liner tape slightly off kilter, but it's fine. Stick that on there, and that will hold the ribbon down nicely. And then we can do it at the other side as well. And just check it's lined up and it's pulled a bit tight, and it's going to be straight. That's it. And then I'm going to hold it down with my little pot and my scissors while I find my red liner again, which is just in front of me. There are lots of pretty colours. Is that in the linen card? There's loads in the linen card, and the metallic ones that Dawn's bringing us that are going with the sets, and even the cream and the brown ones that we've got the woodland effect. They are gorgeous as well. So I used the brown, I think, in the one that's got the lily on it in this set, because it was just the right shade. There we go, and hopefully I've got that stuck right because I was holding it all in place. There we go. So now I can stick that onto the card. Oh, the hydrangea set. Yeah, it's a beautiful set, isn't it? And this particularly has come from the set that as a whole is the watercolour florals. I can't remember the name of the actual kit. I think it probably is watercolour florals, but they're all different flowers that are in that set. And again, you could use some red liner tape here for this, or Dawn's Superior Glue. Now don't forget to make sure you put it the right way around. So that's my opening there, and I'm going to have my ribbon on that side. So make sure I stick it in the right place before I go down. So there we go. Now if you want to put another little bit of red liner underneath there to make sure that's held down, you can. Or it'll hold itself down when we put these on. So I'm going to make the first layer with this one. I've got everything cut and ready for you today. And it's just a case of you deciding how much you want showing. I don't want too much showing, so that's that one. And then we'll put some pads on it. One there, one there. Albie's actually looking very, very happy at the minute because he's all sleepy and quiet down there. I do think he's not quite himself, but he's going for a checkup on Monday. Just his regular checkup. Because he has these medicines for his heart. She said, oh, he needed to have one. He hadn't had a checkup for a while. I'm going to put some more in that space because I can tell I don't like anything to be floppy when it goes on. So I want it to be sturdy when it's on. There we go. And put that layer on as well. Yeah, Dawn's collections, I just don't know. She's just on a roll, isn't she? Bringing them all out. I can't keep up at the minute. So, but I thought it's nice. We haven't really looked at this one too much. So I thought I'll get these floral ones out, and they'll just lend them. I thought, oh, they lend themselves to making a lovely card set for a gift. And lovely toppers for the for on a box top. So that's where that came from. But I'll try and sort of use different kits from Dawn, not always just the one that's just come out, because we can't all get all of the kits, can we? So it was nice to revisit ones that you might have got. So I'm just going to put that one in. This one I think looks okay where it's in the centre because it's a smaller card. And then we'll build this layer up, and we'll get on to the box making. Now Dawn had also had some boxes where you just put them together. I think I've got 6x6 somewhere. But when you're making your cards, you don't always want just that one size. So if you can't make boxes or you're not confident, then have a look at if Dawn has any more of those box making sets. They're quite good because they're all ready to go. You don't have to do anything but put them together, and they don't need any gluing or anything. They're just straightforward. But because I had this specific size in mind, I didn't have any boxes made, so it's just useful to know how to make a box based on the size that you want it. And sometimes you're going to be able to do it with A4 card, sometimes you're going to need 12x12 or A3, depending on the size of your boxes. Oh, I wondered where that little bit, there was a bit of purple on the back of there on the sticky thing, and I wondered where it had come from, and it's a bit of nail varnish. Cheapy nail varnish just out the drawer, so that's told me. They stick to these sticky things, don't they, and then come off. Sometimes I talk and then I forget what I'm talking about when I'm talking to you. So I think sometimes I probably stop. I get distracted by something and I stop talking about what I was talking about without finishing it. I'm sure that makes sense to all of you, because you're probably all the same. Or a lot of you will be the same. Lose track of what we're talking about very easily. If I miss any questions and you want to know particularly, you can put it in again, or just give me a message on private message and I can answer them. That's what's happening. I'm sticking it on there, look, onto my sticky thing, and the nail varnish is coming off. And I'm getting Albie's hairs in as well. Right, so there we go. So we've made that one. That's just a bit of 3D layering, bit of ribbon, and that's just another stage up for your card, just a little bit more special. And then on this kit as well, I decided that I was going to decorate the envelope. So I'll show you these ones. So they've all got their own little matching envelope. Put them at the bottom. I've got the lily, and I've used Dawn's lace just as a little bit on the back. Could put a little one of those wax things on, couldn't you? But I've done that one. I've got the one for the rose. I've got a heart on the back of that one, and that is the daisy. I've got a little flower on the back of there, and I've got that is actually for the sunflower, because I didn't have a sunflower one. So there's two daisy ones. You pick whichever one you want for the sunflower. And this is my little box that I was doing, so I ignore any measurements that are in the bottom of there. So that was all just me practicing. And then they go in there. So let's make the last one up. And on this I chose the grey from there as my matten layer for this strip. So these strips come in the kit as well with Dawn. You get loads of nice borders. And I haven't quite cut it down to the right size, so I'll do that in a minute, but let's just stick these on. There we go. Somebody's fighting with stamens. Oh. Well, in terms of my hanging basket, I have got to the stage of where I have found the hanging basket, and I have lined the hanging basket with some plain felty stuff, and I've hung it up, letting the plain felty stuff, I've stuffed it with towels, and then I've left it hanging just to make the shape, the hope that the felt would take the shape of the hanging basket ready. And then the next stage will be putting in my foam blocks, so that might get done soon. I keep saying I'll do it, but I will do it. So I'm going to stick this along the bottom, so you've still got plenty of room for writing any names on. But I just thought that made the, you know, you want to just, if your envelopes look a bit pretty, then that's just another way of elevating your cards a little bit by bringing your envelopes up. So the other thing that would be nice as well, I said before, was doing some inserts inside your card. So that's that. I'll put that there, and we'll just stick this on the back, but it just gives it that little bit of something extra. Can put a little waxy seal on to decorate it, or a little flower, but I just thought the little bit of lace from Dawn, those little shapes, look quite cute. So that's that. I'm just going to cut the extra bit off there that I've done, because I didn't have it measured down ready. So I'll just trim them off without cutting into the envelope. There you go. But that just finishes that off nicely to go with the, sorry, watch my little tiny pictures, to go with that. So now we've got our card and our envelope ready to go into our box. So we've made two different styles. We've done the same style in terms of all the matting layering and the colour combinations, but we've done one with some matting and layering raised up on 3D foam and a bit of ribbon and a bit of extra on the envelopes. So that's ready to go in there. Now that's probably the reason I thought, oh, I need some flat ones. I made these first. The box I'd sort of created is a little bit on the narrow side. So this box, I'm going to make another one to fit them in a bit better, because it's a little bit small. But what we'll do first, because we've made our little sets, is that all right? They're done. We're going to make a proper box for this one first, because I've just got this little mock-up with my little coloured things. But let's have a go. Put them in there out the way for now. And let's get the card out. So hopefully I have not lost my measurements. And I'll remember what to do. So I've got some mats and layers ready for when we come to decorate it, and I've got some bits to go on the top for decorating it. So I'm just going to put those to the side for now. And I've chosen for the box for this one of Dawn's nice metallic, one of the nice metallics. So one, it's got blue both sides. And when I was having a play with it, I found that it scored really quite nicely. Some cards, you score them and you end up with cracking, but these were scoring really well. So I've made the box out of A4. So we've got 2 A4s that we need. I'm hoping that I've got the measurements. This is the right measurements. So what I did to work out what I'm doing, my measurements, is I've got my envelope. So the envelope is a bit bigger than the card. So that is what needs to fit in. So I base in my my measurements off this envelope. And the envelope, this is for the 5x7 card, is 7 1/4. I think that is on there. 7 2/10 it says, whatever that is, not quite a quarter. And then 5 1/4 nearly there as well. It's just a bit less than 5 1/4. So I decided that, yes, right, if I actually want these to fit in snugly, because that's a little bit less than 5 1/4, if I make the box base centre 5 1/4, then that'll just sit nicely in it. So you can see, let me get the other one I made as my little trial one. This is the base. So I want it to just be a fraction, only a fraction bigger. So it's not flopping around too much. It's just the right size. So I've literally gone a fraction. It's actually just like 1/8 of an inch really, almost, is the most I've done going that way. And the same for going that way. If you pick something like 1/8 of an inch or 1/10 of an inch, whatever you've got on your measurer, that should be about right, so that it'll fit nicely. So I realised that I needed to have 5 1/4 that way for that envelope, and for this way down I needed it to be 7 1/2. Then I need to have a side on it. So you then have to add on either side of your shape. Let me get another bit of paper to draw it. So I'm going to imagine, I've got black there, that's black. That's the card shape, and that's going to be the base. So I've made that just like 1/8 of an inch or even less, slightly bigger. So in this case it's 5 1/4 that way, and this case it is 7 1/2 that way. I decided that the depth of my box coming up was going to be 1 inch. Now you might want, because that one, show you, sorry if I'm trying to show you how my thinking goes, so you can make any size box really. So this one, that was made, I think that was an 1.5 inches or 1 1/4 inches rather than 1 inch. So I was thinking it was a bit wider, but actually, because my cards are thicker, I'd probably be better at making that one a taller box. So you need to then decide how tall your side's going to be. So this one I've decided is going to be 1 inch. So I need to add on 1 inch either side. So that's 1 inch. 1 inch on that side, 1 inch. But then I needed the same on the bottom. I need another inch on the bottom, and I need 1 inch on the top. Go on top and bottom there. So then that's going to be the sides coming up. So now to work out the overall size of my piece of card, I'm just going to add them up. So I've got 5 1/4 plus 1 inch at one side plus 1 inch at the other side. And that width of my card needs to then be 7 1/4 inches. So those little numbers are the height. And then coming down ways, we've got 7 1/2. And I want to add my 1 inch on again, add another 1 inch on again for the top and bottom. And that gives me 7, 8, 9 1/2. So now I know what size my piece of card needs cutting to. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can make any size box by working out what size you want your base, how tall you want the sides, and use your little plan to make sure you add on enough sides. Hopefully that makes sense. You can add any size box at all. So this is going to be the base. Right, I'm going to leave that bit of paper over there because I'm going to need it again. So we said we needed 7 1/4 by 9 1/2. So let me just get this out. Seven and a quarter. Sorry, everybody. Right. 7 1/4. Well, I can't. Yep, 7 1/4. I did say that, didn't I? Yeah. Don't want to do it wrong at the last minute. Right, lining that up. 7 1/4 wide. And then we want 9 1/2 on the bottom base. There. So I think some people have box makers, and you can use the box maker to fathom out you know what to do. But I don't actually. I've got this board, and this board's supposed to be a box maker, but I've never really used that, so I don't know how to do it. So I'm working it out based on how I work things. I like to know the concept of how to do it rather than just doing it automatically off some board. I like to know what I'm doing. So this can be any measurer, because I'm just going to now use my inch. So I've got my piece of card, and each side's going to be an inch. So I'm going to score down 1 inch, turn, score down 1 inch, turn, score down 1 inch, turn again. That is I think a Crafter's Companion guillotine. I did used to have one called a Purple Cow many years ago. Don't know where I got that one from, but I don't know what the Purple Cow one is. And this little guillotine I got that in the year 2000, I think it was, and it's called Creative Memories. I don't even know if they still exist. It was it was for scrapbooking when I got it. Have a little look and see if Dawn's got any recommendations, Karen, as well. Just to, anybody else has got recommendations. So, I don't know what's the best guillotine going out there at the minute for a nice big one. So have a little look around and do your homework and see what other people are using as well. Don't just sort of go for anyone. Right, so we've got that base nice and ready. Yeah, there's a big green one that I've seen on the telly, Karen, that looks, I think it's got, I don't know, it might be the Caterpillar. Is that the one I'm thinking of? It was quite pricey, but it looked like it was really good. The Hunky Dory one, if it self-sharpens, that's probably good as well. Because I do find that sometimes things are just not staying sharp very well. So far that big guillotine's okay, but anyway, do a bit of shopping around. So now we've got this scored. I don't know if you can see very well. What I will do, because I can rub it out, I'll use a little white pencil, because you won't be able to see it on there then. And you can see the corners. I'll just colour it in. I'll just do these two so you can see. I don't want to, in case I can't get that to rub off properly. So just so you can see on the camera, we should have a little square on each corner. Yep, and that's the bit that we're then going to cut. Yeah, the Caterpillar, I think, is that a green one? And I saw that and thought, I need one of those, and that's probably what I will save up for, because they looked like they were definitely worth having. yeah, anyway, so here's the square. We're going to cut a little tab out of that. So I'm going to go on my little white line I've got just on an edge to the point of the square, and then I'm going to go over a little bit in that little square that we've got. I'm just going to cut a little tab like that, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do the same again, cut down to the point, little tab off. Oops, sorry, shouldn't have done that. Pulled it because then I've got a little bit of white card showing. Never mind. There. Cut there. So I'm just going all the way around. I do the same side. You always do my right hand side one because I'm right handed. And I cut into the tab and then I turn to do the next one. There we go. So you then got your little bits and pieces there. Yeah, I might actually do that, Sam. That's a good idea. Check some. I don't think people will want to get rid of them though once they've got them. With the, I'm going to see if that'll rub out because I have. Yeah, that'll be all right. There we go. And then we're going to score our lines. I have ended up tearing a bit of card there, but I'm not cutting it very straight. Hang on a second. I'm just going to get that bit because I know it's going to show in a minute. I've not done a very good job of trimming it. That's it. I can tell when I was scoring it that was wrong, so just make sure you adjust it then. So I'm going to fold all my sides in ready, and that's it. That one I've done the same again. I haven't cut properly. What happens when you're on the telly? We'll be all right. We'll sort it out. Anything's not right, I'm doing it all the way. I've cut down the wrong side of the score line. That's what I've done. Because you've got to get it in the right place, otherwise you end up with that. So I'll probably have to go around and mend this box or make another one. So I'm not going to be happy with it. Right, there we go. So then I'm going to fold in my little other bits. Fold them in. That's it, and then we're ready to build. So I'm going to get a bit of red liner. Now that'll just make sure that it stays together nicely. Oh, that doesn't sound good, Jackie. I think it's definitely something to have a little look around and think about. And Dawn's probably worked for everybody in the industry at some point, so she's probably the best one to sort of say, has she got anybody that she likes to use if she wants a guillotine? Oh gosh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. I'm going to cut my card myself by accident. I'm just going to put some red liner tape on so it'll hold nicely. Well, also Sam, and I know lots of you ladies have been doing it for millions of years, so I think you're better than me to ask about this kind of thing. I'll try and cut my next box properly because I've, of course, on the live done it wrong. Right. Right, and then I'm going to undo my tape. Probably shove a bit of glue on it as well, just for good measure. This one's a nice glue. There we go. Make sure. I think some people use collal glue when they're doing their box making. It's supposed to be really good and sets super solid. So just try to line that up on the corner like that. Now I'll put the glue in so it's all pouring out. What you can do which I couldn't find my little set. I've got a little set of pegs. So you can, instead of standing here pressing for ages, you can get a little peg and poke it and stick it on there, and then that'll just hold it in place for you. And of course, if you're using Dawn's glue, not a inferior make like I've used, then you get that hold immediately. And the red liner and Dawn's glue, I think, will be solid. But I know some people doing box making, I've seen, will use the Collal glue as well, that clear one. I don't like that glue that I've just used because it's now just poured out all over the place on my lovely blue card. So just don't use that one. Right, sorry, I'm going to do this again. I'm taking my time on this, aren't I? Honestly, I thought I would be whizzing through. I'm just going to put a little bit on just so I've got a bit of wiggle. Turn it over, line it up. Hopefully you can see. There. That's it. Just hold that. There we go. And actually, because Albie's a bit under the weather, I think we're doing well with Albie tonight as well. He just doesn't cope so well with the heat. So I took him for a very short stroll out on the in the little bit where there's trees. So we were in the shade, and he's come back from there and he's just sleeping. So I'm just holding them, but yeah, you can just get your little pegs. I've got like little mini pegs that you can use for actually using in your crafting for decorating, and I did a baby card with mini pegs and made like a little washing line and hung little baby clothes on. So I've got my little mini pegs somewhere. Or get your clothes pegs out. But I'm holding it right up to there as well, so you can see. That's it. But it should hold nicely with the red liner on. And hold well. There we go. That's it. So we've done a base. There. So I've tucked all the little tabs in, held them in the place, and hopefully we've got that right. Oh, can you hear the pigeons scrapping around? Right, so we've got a nice little base there. So now when you come to your top, all you want to do is you have your measurements that you had before, and the base you just want it to be a smidge bigger. So at the very most, do 1/8 of an inch bigger than that. That's the most you want, so that it's going to be a nice snug fit. It's not going to be sort of a baggy lid, if you like. So if I add on 1/8 to my 7 1/4, which I've done here on my little bit I remembered, smidge wider, I've added 1/8 on. 7 1/4 add 1/8 is 7 3/8. 9 1/2 add 1/8 is 9 5/8. So my base is just 1/8 extra. So let's cut that up. Bring it here because I'll forget. And I'm only using my guillotine at the minute because my blades on my trimmer are blunt and I need to get some more. And I wrecked them because I was cutting mount board on it. Instead of cutting mount board on this guillotine, which is what I should have been doing, I cut mount board with my trimmer and wrecked it. So I need to get my blades again. So we're going for our lid 1/8 of an inch wider, so we're on 7 3/8 of an inch width. So there's my 7. 1 2 3/8 is there. That bit. Don't like that it's got that wonky side. but I'm buttoning it up there, so that should be all right. 7 3/8, 1 2 3, yes. Proof is going to be in the pudding when we try and fit it on, isn't it? So the extra 1/8 of an inch on this length, we now want 9 5/8. So 9 1/2 is 4/8. So we just want one more little dibble along. And that's that one done. And then I'm just going to do the same again. My sides are going to be 1 inch. So I'm just going to do one side, turn, one side and turn, third side and the last side. There you go. And that's it. Simple as that, boom boom. And I'm going to do the same again with my trimming. I'm going to trim, and I'm going to put my little tab, go to the corner, and you're working in the square. I'm cutting your little tab off, turn, and then you won't accidentally cut the wrong one if you just keep doing that little turn each time, because it's the little square in the corner that we're cutting. There we go. Bish bash bosh. And let's go for our folding, scoring, burnishing. Can't think of the right words. There we are. I'll fold my little tabs in ready. Get that little go in. You go in. My little tab goes in. That tab goes in. And then I'm turning it over. Ready. I'm going to stick my glue on. So this is the top. I'm going to stick my little bit of tape on. These are from Dawn as well, my big pad, the big pack for $9.99 of all different size red liner tapes. So just see what you need. We need to stick all these corners on, and then we're done, and we can do the decorating of the top. So just put some extra glue on here. Oh, there's Jane joining us. Hello, Jane. I don't know if there's anybody else I've missed. There's probably loads of people joining. I can see Helen's name. I haven't said hello to everybody. I'm sorry if I've missed you. Hello. Debbie's there. I think I did see Debbie pop in. And Alison, hello. Anybody else I've missed? I'm sorry if I've missed saying hello. I think I'm just concentrating on this. I'm not watching the chat all the time. I'm trying to keep up. And hello to anybody who is watching on catch up, or anybody who has joined us on YouTube once these have been loaded on, because that's where they will be for you to watch in the future. And they're called Craft and Chat with Angela and Dawn Bibby Creations. They're in their own little folder in my YouTube, Angela for Crafts. So I'll keep all of, there's nothing much on my channel, because really there's only I've only just really started doing it, so there's just a couple of videos, and most of my followers are my family members, although there might be a couple of you. Look, I'm taking the glue off before I'm ready to. Honestly, I'm not going to bother with the glue this time. I'm just going to use the tape. Yeah, mostly my family members. There might be a few people who are from this group who've joined. I don't know. And I'm sticking it to my nail varnish again. Honestly, I'm just going a bit quicker now. Look, that's I'm rushing, thinking I spent enough time on a box making project. But hopefully it's helped somebody who isn't sure about making boxes. It's just nice to know if you just work your measurements out on paper first, then it usually works nicely. So that one I've just done with the red liner completely, and hopefully if we've done it right, the box lid will now sit snugly. As she says, she hopes she's done it right. Yeah, it fits nice and snugly, so it's not falling all over the place. It's nice and snug because we've only done that little tiny extra bit. So I spend a little bit of time when I'm making something just to write a few things down and plan it, or draw pictures, because I find it helps me work out what I'm doing. So I draw my little shapes and add my little numbers up. There you go. So we've got a nice box. Ta-da! And we can now find our little collection that we had before. Let me just have another little move. 2 seconds while I gather my things together. There they are. So we've got that all going in there nicely, and my little lid fitting on top nicely as well. Lovely. So if you want to, you can just wrap that up with ribbon and off it goes. However, we're going to make a little lid to go on top. So let me find all my bits. We're going to do a little decorate with the lid. Right, so what I've done, I had a little look through Dawn's flowers, the wildflowers, and in amongst the kit there's some backing papers as well. So I decided that I would put a backing paper, cut a backing paper out. I've done the delphinium because my box lid and whatnot, I've decided on the delphinium pattern, and I've cut that down to the same size as the envelope. Let me see, did I do it slightly differently, or have I done it exactly the same? Yeah, it's a smidge bigger. I measured the base. I turned it over, measured that, and then cut that down a little bit. So that would be nice, actually stuck inside the bottom. Just finishes off the inside. So we can stick that down, and that'll be my inside done. And then I can pop all these back in for now. And then I have got my lid. And I've looked at, because I like the delphinium in the blue, I have, this is the other style that Dawn's got. So as well as the ones that are just like freeform on the page, like these. So these are just like freeform on the page without any frames around them, and you get all different ones. You get like, I don't know, 6 or 8 on one page. Probably more than 6, definitely be 8 or more. These are the ones with the frames. So I picked the delphinium frame, cut it out carefully, and then I have got the nice blue that we've got on here to go behind it. And then I've picked a nice shiny metallic blue, which I've done as a thin layer round. And then because we've got that theme going on with the cards, with the white, where I've got these sort of frames with white, I decided I would also do that on the top of the box. So I've done a slightly bigger one there in the white, and then I'm going to put this one on top of there, and then it's just going to be reminiscent of the cards inside by having those sort of framing. It's kind of following that kind of theme as well. So we can just stick this down flat. I think that's the best, what I'm going to do with that. That's okay. And then on the sides, I have cut the metallic, and I've just done it so there's a little mini border around, just measured my inch, so I think that's probably 3/4 of an inch, and then I did a little slither off the background paper that I've used for the inside. I've done a little slither, sorry, yeah it is, it's going to be that way around. So I've got a little bit there, and I'm going to do that all the way around, and that just picks up the delphiniums on that, the background paper on there. So that's all I did. And then we're going to have a little look at some other. Tracy, just don't look at the minute, because when I'm doing my lives, I just do it. I don't always actually like gutting, always, but yes, you can gut if you want. Do not peep, do not look. Turn your eyes away now. And let's pop that on there. I think that's all of the card stock that I've got for that. Yeah, that's right. And I'm just going to keep this flat as well. So yeah, do not look. I'm doing another one without gutting it. A whole lot is being done without gutting it, but it'll give me a nice sturdy topper if nothing else. There won't be any little flappy floppy bits in the middle where you push down and it just goes down inside, because it's all on the card. That's that, and then I'm going to actually stick this one down on top first, so I can then line my little topper up with it better. But this is a nice quick easy top, doing the same as the cards inside where we've just done matting and layering and kept it simple. And then we're going to have a little look at a couple of other options for tops, which I have prepared to show you as well. Just standing up, trying to get that in the right place. Might be slightly wonky, but we'll be all right. I'm going to turn over there and just burnish that down on the inside, because I can't get to the top to do it. That's it. So hopefully that'll be in place. And then we'll do this one. You could stick this up on foam pads if you want to, because it's on the top of the box. No, it would be fine to do that. I'm just sticking with the simplicity today. Hopefully got that in the right place as well, and then I'll do the same again. I'll stick it down. There we go. And then we're just going to stick some sides on. So this was all from one bit of card. I did up my 2 long bits and my 2 short bits. And then I just did the slither off the bit of card that I'd used to cut the delphinium out. On the, because obviously I've cut it up, you can't see, but the actual card, I've actually cut it in the middle as well. To get the delphinium, I've had to cut right round to get that where I wanted that image. So there's quite a bit of like leftover edges, but there was just the right amount of leftover. There's another little bit, right amount of leftover bits that I could then use it for the edges. So that's, they decided they were going to be used for the edges because I'm not wasting anything. And then I've got that one and that one. I've even done them so that they match, even though they're not going to be on the exactly the same side as each other. My brain decided that it all needed to be matching. That says something about me, I'm sure. So I cut it like that as well. Don't know what that says about me, but there you go. So before I stick this on, I'm going to put these together first. Yeah, you don't get a soggy bottom if your card's good and firm. That's all right. It's fine. I'm going to stick it on here. And did I leave a little gap or did I take it to the edge? I've took it to the edge. So I've just done the blue to peep out from the top and the bottom on this one. I might have to trim it slightly. Make sure it fits. And we'll do another one. I don't know if these are actually quite the same size. I think I've maybe cut them slightly differently, but it'll be all right. We'll be fine. There'll be a little bit more blue shown on this one than there is on the other one. But they're on opposite sides. I think I'm going to get away with it. There we go. And another one. And this just picks up the colour of the delphinium on the top. And then a tinsy little bit of shiny coming out the side. There we go. Ah! I'm getting glue all over me. There you go. I've done that one slightly different. They're all slightly different. Be fine. Right, I'll get my box down again. Make sure I put that on properly. I might have to go back with Dawn's glue when it comes in the post. Right, so now we've got to make sure we get these the right way up. So my box is that way. So I'm going to need, I'm going to put this one on here. On that side. So it's got to be that way around. And a bit of tape might be easy to do with this, to be fair. To stick it on nicely and easy, but I'll do it with the glue for now. So let me get it on. And this one I have left a little bit at either end. So pop it on and then stick it on its side and burnish it from the inside again. Oh, hi Julie. Yeah, that's fine, no worries. So you can watch it back, and then when it disappears off Facebook in 30 days, hopefully by then I will have loaded it onto my YouTube. So you can also watch it on there if you need to. And if you decide you want to watch and pause and do it a bit slower, you can. And also be careful when you're doing that you actually do it straight, because I haven't done it straight. But never mind. Let us have a go. Just a little bit of matting and layering on. So bye for now, Julie. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Is there a daytime that people would like as a good day or a good time during the day if I do a daytime one next week? I have done previously a Friday morning. I don't know if Dawn's doing any Instagram, but I know she's been really busy, so she hasn't been able to do that. So I don't know if she'll be doing Instagram on a Friday. I'll find out. I've got to work out if there's a morning that I can do, though, to squeeze one in, seeing as I'm not able to do the Friday or Saturday night. So if anybody's got any preference, let me know. Try and get it straight before you do your burnishing down, because I'm rushing. I'm not really doing it very well, and again I'm not using Dawn's glue, so it's not sticking as well. I might have needed my pegs on there as well, or a bit of tape would have been better. If you want it to last, probably a bit of tape would be a good idea. And then the last one, so it just makes the, yeah, I don't think Dawn, I think she's just too busy with everything. So I might do Friday morning, or if she's not on Friday afternoon, if that's any better for people, I shall ask and find out. It's Friday night. I think it's 4 o'clock I've got to pick Wesley up and go, so it might be better to do a morning, because then I've got time to sort myself out. So there you go. That's a simple topper onto the top. And we've got our little box of cards. I've got one that matches on the top there. Pop it over and it fits nice and snugly. There you go. And if you want to finish it off, you could put a nice little ribbon round as well if you want to. But I think that just looks quite nice, really, doesn't it? There you go. So we've made a lovely little box of cards. going to pop that one up there, and then we're going to have another little look at the next one. So if you remember, we have this little box of cards that we did, and pretend that's not there. No, that's my one I've been writing on. I've got all my little envelopes in, and I might as well use this box rather than it be wasted. So I'm going to decorate the lid that goes with this box, if I can find it. Let me get my bits out. Put them up there. Yeah, this is it there. So I think that's that lid there. Right, so let's get this lid and have a look. So basically I'm going to make another topper that might go nicely with that. So I'll bring it back because you might want to see the colour. And what I've done, I decided that I would use the fuchsia. So I've gone a bit pink and a bit crazy with the pink here. I've got the Chateau Chaumet dye used again from Debbie. So that's what I've used as my focus. My idea was that it was going to be fuchsia. So I have cut some of the fuchsia paper. I'll show you. So this is some of the background paper that's in Dawn's set. And I cut the corner off and I put my dye set on, me Chateau Chaumet dye, and I cut that out. So I've got all the other little bits around to use that came from it that I haven't used, because all I've used there is in the finish the centre part. I then cut it out again in some pink, and I cut it out in some silver, a bit of the silver card that Dawn sells as well. And I don't know if you can see, but when you cut out, you get that centre panel. So I think I've used this before, so you might have seen it. You get a centre panel, and you also get the ring bits that come around outside. So you get your frilly bit round here that we're using, and you get your little those bits as well. So I've mixed and matched, and I've done pink and fuchsia. All my little bits I shall keep to use again, and I've layered it up. And then I realised that I'd used a pink card that I didn't have enough of to do my topper. So I've added a bit of stickles to make it look like a glitter card, because then I did manage to find a piece of glitter card. And that was what I thought, right, I'm going to go full on pink here, because we're going pink. And because my box lid is like a grey metallic, that's where I went for the silver. So I've chosen a silver from Dawn, which is a bit holographic, satiny looking silver, and I've made a topper to go on the top of the box. I've got some ridiculously bright glitter pink, which is going on there. And then if you look at that, that's just too much. I need another layer as well. So I went and found my pink metallic, like a pale pink metallic, that one, and put that on. And then I thought, right, I'm going to put that in the middle, so we could keep it like that. But I thought, no, I want something else. I'm going all out here. So again, my little favourite stencil of Dawn at the minute from the Bloom and Blossoms one that she's got. I got that out. That already had some purple on it. But I went over with this Bundle Sage. So it ended up with a mixture of Bundle Sage and purple, because that was what was on the stencil already, and it's given me a nice, a lovely background. Yeah, so I've put that one to be there. And then because on these cards, our theme also included, you can see, our theme was also that we had a ribbon on it, or a couple of ribbons, sorry. I shall move it over, yes, sorry. Forgetting where my camera is. Let me move my little boxes, so I'll put that over there. Get rid of my little frames. There you go. So we've got the theme of the ribbon. So I wanted to use the ribbon as well. Again, this is where I was finding I needed more ribbons. I need to go shopping with Dawn's ribbons. But I picked the lilac one with the satin edges. and I'm going to put that round this to be the same as the theme of the cards inside. So let's do that again, and then I'll show you what else we're doing. We're nearly finished the live today. What time are we? Oh, 9:30. I'm doing very well. Doing well. Scissors. So I'm going to put me a little bit of I've probably got too much there, but it's fine. Put that on there. Put that on there. That should hold it. And then if I put that there, just let me plan it a second. Am I in the shot now? Probably put them in the wrong place, but I want that little bit down the edge, don't I? So that should be all right if I go up to there. Try and get it ready for me being straight. That's it. So I picked out the pattern off the card inside to use my matting and layering again, and to put the ribbon on like we had before. And again, that stencil pattern is just lovely because you can see it through there as well, can't you? It's lovely. So my two stencils I've used today, one was Dawn's and one was a Samperia one, but they're lovely. The satin edge organza is lovely. I've got loads of little bits of in ribbon bags as well when I've got them off Dawn. I've got lots of different colour ones and little bits of things to get. It's just nice to have a little taster of them. So they've had a little bit of a playtime today. But I did want slightly darker purple, I thought to myself. But I found something else I'll show you for the next. We've got one more little topper that we're doing after this one. And we're done. I think that was all I had planned. Let me hope that I get this straight. I'm probably off camera at the minute, but just bear with me while I... That's it, I think I'm about right. That's it. I'm going to put these on. I think I might go for a bit of tape because I'm on lots of glitter going on again this time. Let's do that. Glitter and shiny stuff. I'll make this bit. There we go. Anybody got anything nice happening tomorrow? I think tomorrow is just a day for me to see if Wesley's got any homework and help him and do any washing, so that I'm caught up with making sure he's ready for college on Monday. That's all I've got to do. And then Monday I'll be at the vet in the morning just to get his little checkup because he's on his little heart tablets. He needs checking. And then I'm going to go for a little run out to Redcar. There's a little craft place there I've discovered. They do a lot of like home, you know, like fancy paints for you doing your proper furniture, upcycling and all of that stuff. But they do have other little bits and pieces in for crafters as well. And I have never been, and I thought I would have a little run out and have a little trip along to the seaside while I'm out, and that would be a nice little run out. So that's my little thing on Monday that I thought I would do. Tuesday I have a little trip to the physio, who I've seen about my knee, and I think it'll just be a matter of telling me that I'm doing everything right and they don't need to see us anymore. So that'll be good. And I think that's my jobs the next few days. So Jackie might have a craft day. Debbie's always working, bless her. Always working. Sam will have fish and chippy dinner as a treat tomorrow. Oh, that sounds good. Well, at the minute, I'm doing a very fancy thing. Fancy for me. But it's actually been really helpful. So there's something called Hello Fresh, which I think you can get all different ones. And there's just me and Wesley. So I'd got some free voucher things off my daughter to have a go. I'd got them as students, so we're all getting their free meals. I think you just paid the postage. And I did that, and then I got different vouchers again, and then I've just thought, oh, this is working quite well for me. When there's only the two, look, I'm losing my nail varnish again. When there's only the two of us, it's been a lot easier, economical. It's not costing me any more than my normal food, and I get 3 meals each week, and I don't have to think, I don't have to have waste, and things go wrong. So I'm busy having a go at that, and it's helping me because I can't think, I can't plan very well, I can't spend a long time cooking. So I've been doing lovely recipes that don't take very long at all, and we've been really enjoying all the different things that we've been trying. Oh, I've done that wonky. You see, the whole purpose of me doing my my tape there was so I wouldn't do it wonky. And I'm just, every time I talk, I can't do the sticking down at the same time. It just goes wrong. So pretend this is straight. Everybody, do pretend. Oh, do you know, I'm just going to leave it, and I'm not going to put that topper on. I'm going to show you it as if I have put the topper on, because it hasn't gone right, and I'm going to have to do that again. I can't have it like that. Anyway, there you go. So we'll do it with this bit. So pretend I've stuck that down, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stick it down. It's wrong. Right, we're going to have that in the middle. And then I decided that that was just a little bit too simple as well, especially when we have lovely flowers off our dawn. So I'll put that on for a minute. I decided that I would get the flowers out. And I've got some lovely fuchsias at the minute, which are going to go into my hanging basket. But I pinched 3 flowers off because they were the same colour as that. I tied them all together with a bit of tape. I couldn't find my wires, so I tied them together with a bit of tape and glued them round so they're stuck together. And I glued on some leaves. And then I thought, that's going to be my topper, like that. And then because I've got a little bit of a mess of leaves there, I made a ribbon, the same as my purple ribbon. And then we're going to put that on there. And then that's going to be my topper. So that's where I'm going. So in a minute, I'm going to have my glue ready, because I've put the glue gun on. And we'll do that. While we're waiting, I didn't want to be sitting with nothing else to do, so I've got another bit of here going on. That was another topper that was nice. So you could use the fuchsia topper on your card, and you could just do it very simply. So this was, I had another one all prepared. So if that one's gone wrong, we can do this one, which is again just matting and layering and using Dawn's lovely card. And that's the simple top, like the one we did before. Yeah, it's saving me a fortune, Debbie, because there's only 2 of us. It's working well. I'm not throwing away food because we're actually doing it. Wesley can help, and he can do some if I can't be bothered. They're all like take me 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most, and that's me sitting down as well by waiting for the oven. Everything's been a lot easier. So I've also on this one. So that's my little thing at the minute I'm doing, and it's helping, I think. So I've made edges again with this, with you know, so I had another box prepared for you, but I don't need to do that. But I'm going to keep them and do it. So seeing as that one went a bit wrong, we might do that as the topper on the box. I don't want to waste anything. And then I thought while we were waiting for the heat gun to heat up, and then we can actually do it, we might have a little play with some of the flowers. So I've cut this out again in a lilac, which I think we might use. Leave that, I'll do that after, because I don't really need the outside bit. What I wanted was this bit, because I thought I would use the glue to stick onto that directly in case it was any easier. So I've got it ready. These are the little shapes you get on the outside. You get your fancy frilly edge, and then you get your 2 little layers. So I'm going to use that one. It might be nice with that holographic around it as well if we wanted it, or just the blue, but we're just going to use that. I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom of this, I think, just to help with sticking them together. Just those couple. So this is a another lovely big bunch of lavendery things off Dawn, and I just pulled these sprigs off it. Don't know where which ones these are, but let's just pull a few little sprigs off, and I want them to sort of be just a little collection of lavender on their own, because I thought that would be a nice topper. Now when I was doing this with the other one, I kind of did that like that with the 3 bits to see where I wanted them to be. And normally I would get my wire and my green, I've got like green tape that I use, and I would wire it round to hold them in position because I want to do stuff with it. But I could not find my wire either. This is just a feature of my conservatory at the minute, is that everything's just upside down and a mess, so I can't find my wire. I did have a little bit of wire from the kitchen, so I might use a little bit of that. Just pretend that that's the green wire, because it'll be easier for me to hold it, I think, if I do that. That's it. And then I get the position vaguely where I want it. That one's not even inside the wire. Hang on a second. I will get my wire out and do some wire ones for you, just so you can see, because I know most of you just use the glue because it's easier, but some of you might want to have a go with the wire in. Well, I should be able to cover that up. So there we go. Definitely needs to be bigger than that, so it might want to be that there. Anyway, we've got away with it, I think, using that little wire from the kitchen for the time being. There, so we've got that. And then what I thought I would like to do was use some netting. So I've got some netting off Dawn, and I found some darker purple, so I've cut a little bit of that. That's just a wire edge organza one, which looks lovely. You can see that. So I've got that one, and the idea was just to make sort of like a little bit at the back. I think I'm going to lay them on each other. I need another surface on here so you can see what I'm doing, because it's very, very light everywhere, isn't it? What have I got? I've got a pink. I've got a pink. Let's go with that, see if you can see a little bit easier, because it's like white net. There, try that. So I want a bit of net, and I want a bit of purple, and I want to kind of put that behind like a little bouquet there. So I want to glue those on, and then I want to wrap it round again. So that's my idea. Yeah, I could have done, but I actually looked at that and thought about it, but when I was having a practice run, I liked the way the wire ribbon was. Yeah. I will find my proper floral wire though, because it will be a lot easier as well to just show you. I often do like a little knot at the bottom of these things, see if it'll knot. No, I'm not going to knot it because it might spoil the lay of it. This is where I'm fiddling and faffing, but you get the idea that we're going to do that. So let's cut a bit of the net off because I don't need all of the net. Put that there. I'll bring this down. We could use this as well, little back. So I've got my little glue gun ready. It's already dripping, so it's obviously hot enough. I'm going to glue those two together down the bottom of there. It's dripping away because it's ready. I'll try not to glue myself. There we go. And this is very hot glue, as we know from Dawn. Oh, and then I want that one on top, like that. So I'm going to get a load of glue on there. Again, I'm going to try not to burn myself. I can see it happening that I might burn myself. I don't want my netting to just melt as well. Put that on top. Can you see? Am I doing it in the screen? Because I'm not watching the thing. Pull that out like that. Yeah, that's stuck on. Lovely. I think that looks all right. And then I'll pop this out the way again. And I might wrap a little bit net round that as well and tie it at the back. Should have enough. Oops. Cover that little bit of black up that we had. That's hidden a little bit of that as well. I'm going to do another little bit of a bow with a knot, and then I'll cut it off. So just made like a little sprig, and then I've got some nice green that I found. So I've only used a little bit of stuff here. I've not really used much at all, and I think I'm going to tie a bit of that round and make a ribbon. So let me see if I can make a ribbon. Not very good at ribbon making. I'm going to make 2 little ears, fold them over and pull them through like that. She says making a ribbon. There we go. Just get it the size I want it. I think that'll be nice on the front. Got this stuff all over the place. Is it big enough? She says she might want a bigger ribbon. Da, 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 da. Keep that there for the minute. I've got another bit of ribbon here. See whether that one's going to look any better. It's just very simple, Jackie, but I love playing with Dawn's little flowers. I'm not really a flower arranger, but I just like to play and see what I can make. And I think, oh, it just makes the, maybe if you're wanting something different on the top of the box, that would be nice. Right, these also hold nicely with the wires in. So let's have a little look at this one. See if I can make it look a bit better than it does. And pick up the ribbon that's at the other side. Is that one going to be too big? It's like going from one extreme to the other, aren't I? One ribbon to another. Oh, thank you, Jane. I do worry sometimes that I'm doing things that you already all have done before, but I think it's just nice, even if you've done it, just to, it's like a little refresher for anybody who's already done them. I mean, that's, I feel as if that bow's just a bit over the top for that one, and I might want a bit more sticking up there. I need a bit more purple up that top bit. I do. I'm losing me netting. Let's have a bit more. I'm faffing. Are you all right while I faff? You're not all going to disappear. Think, oh, she's on another little planet again. Yeah, I want a bit more purple on there. Just feel like I need a bit more. The net's nice, but it's nice with the purple behind as well. So I might stick a little bit more of that on it at the back. Let's get that away at the bottom. And then hopefully we can hide all the gubbinses at the bottom somehow. That's why I maybe need a nice bow. I'm faffing away, that's all right then. Little faffy person. I keep having to remember to come back into shot though, don't I? I'm not going to be in shot otherwise. So it's holding itself better, but it's also a bit more fiddly for me. But I do need 2 purples there, I feel. So let me stick that on. My glue's just up here. I'm gonna go up to it rather than bring it down, just for a minute, if that's all right. I've got it on a mat so I can just pick the glue off later, and on a little bit of a heat resistant thing as well. I just want to get it and hold it without burning myself. Yeah. Ha ha ho ho. Right, I'll tell you what. The other thing you might need if you're going to do gluing. Let me get my finger protectors out. I've got these off Dawn. There. Now you can't see what I'm doing because I've come up here. But actually, that's made me feel better because I can put the glue on. And then I'm going to just poke it on a little bit with my little finger protector. There you go. I knew they would come in handy. I got them because I thought I will do this. And my glue gun hasn't been out for a long time. This is a one from Dawn ages ago. But I've got my little finger protector, so when I'm holding those bits at the back there, trying to get it down rather than burn myself. There, so I'm happy with that. I don't know that I'm happy with that tiny little ribbon. I feel like I need the Bow Dabra out, but for a very small ribbon. It seems a bit crazy. And that little ribbon there. Oh, she says she doesn't know what to do now. Let me wrap some of that round to hide the gubbinses. That needs to come off. Sorry, there's a little bit there. I don't want that one. And that one there. I might have a green ribbon just to hide that. Yes. Just a little bit. Is it relaxing watching someone faff? Thank you. It's nice when you see me doing things when I'm not actually prepared as well, because this is more like off the cuff stuff. So I do often have things ready for you. Yeah, that looks really nice on there now. But I'm going to hide it at the back again and cut it off, just so I know that's hidden the bits. I've got plenty of it. I can always glue it as well, because I don't want all the edges fraying in. There we go. That's looking nice, and that's just hidden a bit of that wire. The thing with my my floristry wire, I've got the green tape as well. So when you're wrapping it round, you use your green wire and you use your green tape, then you don't need to worry about it. I'm going to use this green because that's what I've got that I planned, but and I might look for some more. I feel as if I want something that's in between the sizes. Is there such a thing? Not as wide as that, but not as narrow as that. Let me see if I can make my bow again. There we go. Oh, and Dee says she likes the green ribbon. 2 little ears and then fold them over and pull. And then do a little bit of faffing. That's not bad for a bow, is it? There we go. Yeah, I'm going to stick that on. I'll decide whether I want that bit sticking out there or whether that spoils the look slightly. Yeah, get rid of that bit so then there's just that going on. Yeah. My ribbon, when my bow tie-in is not the best of bow tying. So I'm going to stick with this, what I've done, because I think I know that it's going to look a bit better that way than my tie-in bows. Oh, sorry guys. Right, let me go back up here with my glue. Where's my little dibbers? I'm going to put them on those 2 fingers and then I'm going to stick a bit of glue on there. Because it'll stick the ribbon on nicely. Do you know what? I'm actually going to use my thumb this time. I got that glue off. I hope that's it done. There you go. Have I done it? Have I made it? She has made it. Tell you what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to glue this one onto there with my glue up here with my hot glue. Seeing as my hot glue's out. My next job, having not had the hot glue out for ages, is to get the stick this one on, is to get the pot out. What do you call the pot? The melting pot. Look at all that glue sticking to my fingers. And tons of the stuff. So that stuck a little ribbon on there as well. Hopefully I've done that right. Let me see on the screen a minute. Yeah, that's all right. I've just got glue everywhere. I love playing with the glue when it starts melting and starts cooling down and you can actually touch it. I like playing with it. And I wanted to stick that one on there. I know you don't see the thing underneath, but it's that you can if you're looking from different angles. So it's worth having the picture underneath, or you could stick something plain if you want. So I'm going to stick a bit of glue on there. And I'm going to stick that onto there. There we go. And we've got one topper made. Ta-da. And then this one, I think that's stuck now. Get rid of them little pokey things. And just do a little tail. Then make sure I go the right direction. I've got a terrible habit of doing my tails the wrong way. Sometimes I just do them across because then I know I've done it right. But I do have a terrible thing of doing the tails the wrong direction. And get my tail. There we go. So we've got another topper there. So we shall pretend that I have stuck this down and I have not cut that bit of silver off there and I've not made a mess of it. And then we'll put that on the top. And there you go. So that's a topper that is just a little bit more than doing just your matting and layering that we had before. Something a little bit more special. And I would do the same around the edges where I'd put some nice matting and layering around the edge, or you could leave it plain. So that can be my one of my boxes. Turn that glue gun off because I don't need it now. And it would go nicely with this little set. Probably could do with a fuchsia card in there as well, seeing as my top's fuchsia. Like that. Or let's go for a different one if we decided we didn't want that one. we could go for, I don't think I've got all the bits and gubbins ready for the for this one. Let's have a little look. I don't think I've got any ready. Let's just pretend I've got all the mats and layers on that one. I can put that one on there. Put that one in the middle. We'll put this, take all the bits out. That one on there. Put one in the middle. And then we've got another topper that we've made that we can put on there. So I just need a bit of matting and layering. And again, I think that's just nice putting it on top of the shape die. If you've got a bigger one, again, you might, I'm looking on the screen there, because that's quite a big topper, I might do better with an even, like a different one of these. Maybe I'll go for a different shape, because I've made quite a big top for that one. But I think I'll have a little play. But I'm quite happy with the top, with that little thing I've made. I think that'll look lovely as a top for a box. We've made some lovely cards. Very simple, just working on matting and layering and colour and ribbons on those ones. And we did a little bit of decorating of the envelopes as well, just to make them look a little bit more special. We've then also got our various different tops that we could have had on our box. We've got a plain fuchsia like that can go on. We've got our fancy fuchsia flower, which is the one that will be going on at some point, and I'll make a fuchsia card to go inside. I shall definitely be doing the fuchsia because I like that. And then we've got a lovely box for that one. And the other one that we did earlier, we've done our little simple blue one, which is very nice and classy. I like that. Very simple, but really, really smart and beautiful. I really like this one. I think I often like simple things. And then we can open it up, and we've got lovely cards inside, which we've made with Dawn's lovely wildflower collection. So maybe that'll inspire you to make some little gift boxes for people for Christmas. That was the idea. If you want any boxes made in a particular style and in a particular size, and you struggle with your measurements, if you've got a particular card base that you want to know the measurements for, let me know, and I'll tell you what to do your box base and your box lid in if you want to have a particular card size to fit in. I'm quite happy to do that and help if you need a hand with it. But I think it's just a really nice gift. And I think Dawn's wildflower watercolour flower collection goes really nicely with it. So that was what we've done today. We've had a nice little play. I've enjoyed that. We've got all manner of things here. We've got more cards there. We've got little flowery bits here. And then we also, at the beginning, we did our toadstools time with our teepee card for Sarah, who will have to watch and catch up because I don't know that she's here today. So we finished, I've done that one before, and then we made a little one here, 4x4 size, just for you, and a bit of toadstools on there, and then I can write or put something on the back, or I can write sentiment inside, and that just needs my little bit of Velcro that I'm going to stick on there to close them up. So we've had a nice little time, or I've had a nice little time. I hope you've had a nice little time. I've enjoyed myself. And then I've been learning how to make little frames from a little reel that I saw. So these are my little practice runs, so they're a bit wonky and a bit bent. But they would also be something that you could have as a box top if I work out that. It makes, it makes just something a bit different. I think they're quite cute. So they're all my little bits of things that were a bit rubbishy and little offcuts of card. And and I've just had a little play. I did that wrong because I needed to make it wider so you could see the picture. So I'm working out how to do that. So you might get to see how to make those little frames another day. And we've still got to finish our book off, haven't we? But I think that's enough for today. Albie has not moved from by my feet. You can tell he's not well because he's just laid there. He's either not well or he just is not liking this heat one little bit. Bless him. Poor little thing. But anyway, I'll take him on Monday and just get him checked over. And then I'll be bringing mine put at rest. But yeah, I've enjoyed my my little bit of crafting for you. Yeah, I'll tell you the other thing we did make a little while ago, if you remember. Let me show you this a minute before we go. Wait a second. Here, we did a bit of messy making, if you remember, a little while ago. And we made these toppers as well that would go nicely on boxes. I've got another box there. Let me put this one in. What's this got in? Oh, that's got all the cards in. So that we made that topper. That's on one of the previous videos. They make a nice 3D top for a card for a box as well. And that was where I used the lace and some sort of 3D embellishments that I then put rice paper over, and I've got paint and gilding waxes on. And we made that topper. That was another one that would be nice for a box. I was obviously having a green day because that's all green and black and gold, and that's all green and gold. So we made that little topper. So these videos will be on the on YouTube at the minute under Angela for Crafts. And I think the box we did, I did a box lid. I haven't finished the boxes, but we did that was a box lid where I put black lace round. So that's other ideas for have a little look back at the videos on making these ones. And some of you might have got that nice mount board card from Dawn. That's just come in one of my parcels, so that would be quite good for using, I think, to do this kind of technique. But that looks quite nice on that grey box, doesn't it? So I might use that on the grey box and do something with it. And then the only other thing I've done this week that I haven't shown you, I put them on Facebook in the group. Dawn had these Art Nouveau. Her Art Nouveau collection at the minute is on offer, half price. I think all the bits are. So I just did a background with some ink and splodges. Cut the die cut shapes out from Dawn's set. I've got a couple of colours going on there, so I've gone silvers and blacks really. And then I've added these on with little brads, my little sentiments and my little snowflakes. So the snowflakes and everything were in this set all together. So I've gone a bit black and pink and purple on that. Used some of a nice ribbon in the background. And then I did the same on this one. I've got like a wax over the top, so the die cut comes out, and then I put wax on and it brings the pattern through. And I cut some of the snowflakes out for the background on that one. That was a bit more grungy, a background. And then again, just some of Dawn's ribbon, and that was in the set. I've got a set of stamps from the same lot, so I stamped that from a Dawn set. And it also, the other things I've got from that set, as well as I've got the stamp and the die set, I've got some of the stencils. So go and have a look because they're really nice. These are going to be really interesting background stencils as well. That's got some nice holly on and berries. And that's another holly and berry one, I think. Yeah, it's got ivy as well. So that's really nice. That's ivy, like holly and the ivy, that one. And then that's the holly one. Yeah, that's called Holly Flourish. So have a look on their webpage if you haven't got them. If you're not, I've got a few of them. I don't have lots of Dawn's old collections, but I did have those ones. Have a little look because they're all on half price at the minute. So there's some really nice things. And I just thought I like a little bit of something different. That black and purple. I think it's just a bit different for Christmas. So, and again, just a little touch of that holographic card, like Dawn said, just a little touch of it in the background. Doesn't it look nice? So there you go. I think that's everything for this week. Please let me know if you've got a preference. It might be Friday morning next week. I'll have a word with Dawn, or have a word with Sam, see if that's okay. So it could be Friday morning. And when I did a Friday morning one before, I think it was about 11:30. So I had time to get Wes to college in the morning. And then I should have time to finish off to be getting away for my little drive off at 4 o'clock. There you go. So I'll get some photos taken and I'll put some on the website, on the in the group, so you can see them all. See all the things that we've made. And then I'll tell you when I'm going to have the next live. So thanks very much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you to everybody watching on Catch Up. Thank you for coming along. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube as well for watching again. And if you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you can. And then you can keep up to date with all of the Craft and Chat with Angela with Dawn Bibby Creations videos. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you later in the week. I hope you can see everything here. Hang on a minute, let me move can I move it over slightly? There you go. There you are. You can see all the other ones as well now. Right, time to go. Night night, everybody. Have a good weekend. Rest of the weekend. Maybe see you tomorrow night on Dawn's Live. Take care, everybody. Watch what you're doing. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Night all.